Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This is on YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. I'm going to put the dice in decks. All that information should be below. Other than that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's going to be below. I'm going to repeat this at the end of the video also if you want to see it there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the reading you chose. Hello Pisces! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Pisces? I try to get them all down before I get too excited, but it's looking good so far. So I shouldn't have said it, but I said it. Okay, so the tarot cards are showing an opportunity. An opportunity for what? That's a great question. It's something where you're in control of it. You're in control of it. All right, I'm saying this as a Pisces. Depending how much you connect to that energy, like astrological charts have a lot of different factors. So one of the things that trips up Pisces is they get caught in their thoughts, and a lot happens upstairs, and it doesn't come out into reality. It's just a natural thing. I'm saying this as a Pisces. Not all Pisces experience that at the same level, just to be fair. This is one of those situations where the inspiration is there. It's been brewing for a while, and the moment to move it forward is coming into your advantage. So I hope I'm saying it right, because hopefully it's not coming across negative. For those of you that's going to really hit with, I feel like you're going to understand what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, and again, I'm trying to be on the level with this. As a Pisces, both of my parents were Pisces. A lot of creativity, a lot of possibility. It's all about, like, when you're in your power moment, not only creating it, pulling it into reality, but then setting yourself up to keep it going and knowing what process works for you to keep that going. Because success is there. It's about what flavor of that success works for you and brings you into that advantage place and continues it moving forward. I want to know about what's here in the past. 4 of Cups, but it's coming in like this, which is telling me when the 4 of Cups is upright. This is the 2 of Pentacles. I don't have the 4 of Cups out here right now. It's on the dice. 4 of Cups talks about things actually going better than you are acknowledging or realizing, but there's a point of contention that's taking up way too much attention, way too much of your energy. So it's almost like going out with friends, hanging out with friends, and there's 4 friends you're hanging out with, but one of them's getting on your nerves, and they're just getting all of your attention, and they're bringing the energy down. And it's kind of like, how do we reset this so that they don't get all that energy, and you can enjoy the other components of this connection? If that makes sense. Hopefully I said, I'm just trying to make it very smooth and like not too much of a highlight of the reading here, but this is more in the past. This might have happened in the past where things have been going actually more to your benefit than you realize, but there's little highlights where the aggravation gets more attention than you want it to. Excuse me. I don't know how I'm supposed to say this otherwise, because it's kind of like when you look back, you're like, instead of remembering, I was hanging out with my friends and we did this good thing and that thing and we saw this show and we had a good time at this dinner place. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember so-and-so complaining about this, and then so-and-so had to make it about them, and then so-and-so had to make us leave early because they didn't want to be a part of this anymore, and blah, 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 blah. It's hard when you're like, there's certain things that are highlighting in a negative sense that makes sense why your brain is going there, but trying to like realign it going, wait a minute, this was good. I got to see this person. I got to do this. I got to have this food. The negative energy was there, but it did not define the day. And it's looking back and not letting it define the situation. It can be a challenge. And I'm saying that with all that humanity, because like, I know I've had my moments where it's kind of like, oh yeah, this one person was there and it would have been better if they weren't, but there were still good things there happening. There's something from this moment in the past where there's been like a lot of advantage, a lot of good things going your way, but there's like this point of contention that is getting too much of your attention from the past. And your moment of moving forward and having your advantage is realizing it's coming back in again. But it's realizing when you look back that you got to kind of sift through it and go, wait a minute, this worked to my advantage. That worked to my advantage. All right, there were some problems that day, but I did learn this about that, and I know that I like this place. Maybe I can redo this without the point of contention. Maybe I can get other people to go to this situation, or maybe I can just kind of find a way to create this without the problem involved. Maybe we can redo this. Maybe we can redo this without the problem, realizing I liked it, I didn't like this component, and that component caused a lot of issue for me. Can we redo this without this component? Is that possible, or is there a way to reshape this to where it's more at my advantage? There's something I'm trying to understand more about. How is it coming forward for you? Because information is coming in, and I feel like there's a lot of speed with it. Are there any other speed cards here? It just seems like there's a possibility coming in very quickly, and it's the Ace of Wands. It's not Wands. It's air. I know it's air. Swords. My brain is saying air, and I'm like, yeah, swords. Same thing. It's not, but I keep getting fire with like speed. I don't know. For some reason, I keep getting speed. I'm connecting to type some fire energy. You got the Queen of Fire coming forward. You got the Emperor coming forward. Those are fire cards. There is some fire here. You got the King of Fire right here in the center. Okay. So, like, part of my brain understands what's going on here. Part of my brain is getting it. Information coming in really quickly. This train here is making me feel speed. I don't think that's a bullet train, but it reminds me of one for some reason. But I feel like it's information rushing in, possibilities rushing in, question marks about how can I realign this in a way that works better for me. Sometimes the only ability you have to do that is to define how you will and won't attach to the situation. Other people might have their grand plan, and they're like, well, if you're going to do it with us, you have to do it our way. Well, maybe not. Maybe you just can kind of fade in and out with their plan and do it your own way. There's possibilities here. This might be about you setting boundaries and defining the situation to go the way you want, and just going ahead and setting it up how you're going to align with it, and just going forward and doing it without too much communication about it. Take that with a grain of salt. You decide if that's right for your life or not. That seems to be an advantage of Pisces sometimes, to like regulate who and what you will communicate with other people. It can also be a detriment. It's a double-edged sword. Be careful with that one. It is a double-edged sword. It can go both ways. When you decide you won't communicate certain things, it's a double-edged sword. Be careful of that. Be careful of that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not allowing somebody to derail me. I want to be careful how I say this, because I'm getting like certain things you got to keep to yourself if you're not going to let people derail you. It could be a strategic move forward. You do have the Emperor coming in. The Emperor could be very strategic. It depends why you're keeping it to yourself. If it's kind of like, the reason I'm keeping it to myself is if they don't know what I'm doing, they can't get in my way. Just be very careful. Be very careful with that. Make sure it works to your advantage in the proper way, whatever that means. I see you putting a lot of effort into this, or whatever this is. It's like there's certain things where, for example, I draw and stuff like that, but I keep it very personal. I don't really share everything I do. Sometimes I share a little bit here and there, but I'm very personal about it. so that I'm the one setting the standard and I'm deciding how far I'm going to go with it. I'm setting my own personal goals, and if I have to realign my goals, that's my business. Other people, if they don't know about it, they can't have an opinion about that. So it depends, like what you're doing, how far you're deciding to go with it. There's a long-term plan here. For a lot of you, I feel like if you set goals and set benchmarks for yourself, like an easy one, say, you know, you want to write a story and you're like, I want it to be a novel and I want to be able to release it in a year and a half. Or I want it to be finished, let's say that. I want to be able to finish it within a year and a half. So it's kind of like setting goals for yourself. Maybe you want to write a chapter a month. Maybe that's acceptable to you. So it's kind of like, all right, and then maybe the first 2 months you're like, I need to set up the outline. How many chapters? What do I want in these chapters? What do I want to talk about in these chapters? Maybe there's certain goals, stuff like that. And it's kind of like setting up that goal for yourself. Setting up the times when you feel like you can write and competently get your talent out on paper. Setting up that standard and then adhering to your own standard. Am I going too far? No, I feel like it's good. Okay. You have what it takes to get the success here. Victory can be yours. You have to have confidence to do it. Confidence in yourself to hold to it. Confidence in yourself that you will adhere to your own rules. Holding to your own situation. This is where I keep getting, I'm nervous about saying, like, keeping things personal or private to yourself. As long as it doesn't work against you, as long as it doesn't bring you down, as long as you still feel empowered, like you're making your goals and it's working for you and you could be your own cheerleader, this can be a very good thing. Be careful. Silence can be a double-edged sword. It can really be a double-edged sword. You gotta be careful with it. Especially for Pisces, in my opinion. If you have the confidence to move forward, you can have the victory. It's weird because it's kind of like realizing that your value is there. And sometimes keeping things personal, it's easier to have that confidence because you don't have anybody else giving their 2 cents and trying to rip you down. Or sometimes, ironically too, people can be building you up and then there's this standard and that creates its own anxiety. Again, depends on what you're doing and how you're feeling about it. I see that, like, I don't know if I showed this, but judgment is in your favor at the moment. It can keep going in your favor, and we want it to, right? We definitely want judgment to keep going in your favor. This, whatever this is it's your personal movement forward. Even if it's a job you're working forward and you want to get a certain promotion, how you do it and what you're creating and what learning you're doing, what projects you're putting towards it, however you're doing that, that's a very personal movement forward. And it's something like maybe you're putting in a lot to move forward to this next level, but it's kind of like maybe I don't want to communicate that with anybody else just now. I want to get all my credentials. I want to get everything I'm doing in line. I want to put, things in my profile to let people know I've done this, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. I've done all these things, I've done all these good things, and I'm just going to move it forward when the appropriate time comes forward. That way, other people who might get jealous or have an issue with that, it never becomes an issue because they don't know I'm doing that, and then when I move it forward, it's too late. Like, I've already showed my progress, I've already showed my accolades, and they can't rebuttal that because they don't know what I put there. I don't know why we're doing it that way, but there could be something where people try to get in your way or people derail you or something like that, and this might be a way to get around that if you've had that issue in the past. Being strategic. Be aware of your patterns. Be aware of what works for you. I think we've already said that, but it's going into it again, so maybe I missed something. Life has its ups and downs. Life does what it does. So it's saying, this is coming in saying, you do want to be diligent, but you want to be honest with yourself, and you want to be flexible within reason. Within reason. You don't want to get completely off path, but you don't want to be so like, I have to. Every day at 5 o'clock this. Every day at 5 o'clock this. Every day at 5 o'clock this. Give yourself some leeway. Give yourself some credit. You don't want to get way off. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I couldn't do it today at 5 o'clock, and actually the way it worked out, I didn't get it at all. So tomorrow I'm going to get up a little early. I'm just going to try to put some things together. I'm going to get up like an hour early and just do some stuff just so I can say I touched it and got to it. Then let's see when I get home from work if I can touch on it a little bit. I'm going to try for 5 o'clock again, but if I can't, anytime after with that is fine still. And it's kind of like being flexible with it. It's kind of like if some days you can't do it, you can't do it. If some days you mix your mark, you just keep it in your forefront. Like, all right, that was that day, but when it comes around again, when Wednesday comes around again, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try to keep myself on it. It's like, but there's also kind of like knowing the ebb and flow of your own energy. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like, oh, I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to put an hour of this in every day at 5 o'clock, an hour of this in every day at 5 o'clock, but this is becoming overwhelming and I'm starting to dread it. Let me bring it down to a half hour. Does that work? Does that make this better for me? Or maybe you're looking back in your own history. When I start pulling it back like that, I tend to lose interest. I might completely disconnect from it. Maybe I have to move it to a different time of day. I wonder if that would help. If I, instead of leaving it till 5 o'clock, is there a way I could move it to 4 a.m. and I can do it in the morning? Maybe I won't get the best out of it that I normally would, but if I can at least stay on track and keep some progress, when the energy builds back up for me, I can move it back to that time and I can review what I've already done, and maybe I can improve things that I've already put on paper. I don't know. I hope I'm saying it right because I feel like it's like I want to try to stay on track, but I need to be flexible with my own needs and my own history of like how things work for me, and I want to be aware of things. It's kind of like, personally, I know myself, keeping up with things, I can go for a long time, keeping up, and then all of a sudden I get overwhelmed, and then the dread comes in, and then it's like things start to fall away, and things start to like, it's before I know it, I'm just doing the bare minimum to get by, and it's kind of like, wait, before that happens, I'm starting to feel it. Uh-oh, too much. Okay, how can I fix this now? I know what this pattern does. Is there a way I can kind of realign things before it becomes overwhelming? Can I bring this to a point where I'm doing half as much safely and not lose everything, and then keep it going and get through this rough patch to where when it starts building back up again, I can add things back in and bring myself back up to full speed instead of going, completely to zero. Like if I was going 50 miles an hour, instead of dropping to zero because I got overwhelmed, can I bring it down to 25 miles an hour and see how far I can get with that? So I can keep progress going. I don't totally lose this. And then I start inching it up to 30 miles an hour, 35, until I get back up to 55 again when I feel better, when I feel like the energy is more to my advantage again. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. There's an ebb and flow with this. It's weird to like have a pattern, try to keep on the pattern, but also kind of keep auditing the pattern. Like, is this working? Is this not working? Is the pattern always the same, or do I have to keep adjusting it? It's trying to find the pattern that works for you. Some of you already know the pattern. Others of you might be still discovering it. It's also, there's a lot of us that where at certain times in life, this one pattern worked. Maybe when you were younger, this one pattern worked. Now that you're this age, that pattern doesn't work anymore. What's the new pattern that works for you? And when you get older, the same thing. The patterns might shift as time shifts. It's being aware of that, giving yourself a chance to find that new pattern and having it work to your advantage. Whatever is going on here, it's designed for you to succeed, whatever this is. Free will is a real thing. But this is designed for you to succeed. Like everybody else, we all have to participate and find what works for us. This is going to work for you. It's designed to work for you. Do you have to do it? Of course not. But it's designed to go into your favor. Justice is supposed to go into your favor. It's realizing what works. I almost feel like they're saying an opportunity is coming up to get back into something, an opportunity that can bring you victory. Confidence is a very important part of that. But part of getting there and gaining more success afterwards is finding your pattern, your current pattern, and what your current pattern does for you. Maybe that's the highlight for a lot of people. I'm sure in the comments you'll let me know, but it's almost like realizing that a lot of us, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of us, we have patterns that work better when we're younger, and as we keep getting older, and it also depends on what we're dealing with, we have to find different patterns that kind of suit the need or suit our new place in life. So it's kind of like when I was a kid, I could sit down with a book, get through it, and learn it, and it would be fine. Now that I'm older, my brain goes different places, and it just doesn't work that way anymore. I have to cut it up in different pieces. I have to come back to it throughout the day. And it's just like, I can still get the information, I can still learn, but I can't just sit down and for hours just work on one book and get through it and learn it all. It just, my brain just doesn't do it anymore. But if I chop it up and do pieces throughout the day, come back to it and think on it and bring it back, I can still get the same intelligence, I can still get the same work out of it. I just have to have a different pattern to do it. And once I realize that, this is how my brain is currently handling things due to how busy life is and how many things are coming at me versus when I was younger. This is how I need to manage it now to actually get the same success or better success even. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.